Hi, I'm Zalika. I'm 28 years old and I work in a Peru in Lewisham. Been there for a couple of months now, and before that I worked in another school, secondary. I love working with young people, but my passion for me personally is my art, my writing, just in the creative field. I love it.
My name is Azaria. I'm 30 years old. I work in a secondary school as a teaching assistant for the art, music and drama department. I've been working there for quite a number of years. I moved away into the drama side from art, and it wasn't until I came back to my workplace that I kind of got back into the arts. Well, I must say we've had an opportunity to grow, experience lots of different stages, because we are actually 2 of 7. I am the oldest, sibling, and we grew up together. Well, being big sister, it's been hard work. I think yes, hard work.
There was big sister, but then I think where we were born in kind of sets, it was big sisters.
Yes.
Then we had like the second set, and everyone was like to my mum, "Are you gonna try for the boys?" And she was like, "Nah." I think 4's enough. And then the boys came. So yeah, it's been nice, just the 2 of us kind of helping out and just being there and playing the big sister role and just mucking in and getting on with it, really.
Yeah. Zalika is very, I'd say, spontaneous. She's fun. She's what's it called? Her attention to detail is mental. In terms of when we're doing our artwork and things like that, she's always drawn with the rubber. She can be a bit all over the place in terms of home life, and in terms of I don't know, presentation sometimes. But she's definitely there for you whenever you need her. She is my go-to person. Anytime I find things very difficult, first line is like, "Oh my gosh, help, I need help," and she's always had my back.
Yeah, I'd say the same. My sister is like my rock, and I love my friends, but some people have that friendship where you're on the phone every day and you just you love your sleepovers with your friends and everything. I've never had that need for a best friend in that sense, just because I've had my sister, and we started raving together, we started all of that stuff together. But as a person, Zara is just, even though we are the older sisters, she has been the older sister, very maternal, very loving. She'll be busy, she'll be tired, it's not easy being a mum, and she'll make time. She finds it all and she slots you in, and it's just continued from childhood, hasn't it?
Well, that's, yeah. For me, I've always found it really strange in that sense. Because I don't know, when you watch TV, they show this whole friendship, and I've always wanted that best friend. But then it's actually, I don't need it, because I've always had my sister and our family bonds and everything like that. We've always put it to the highest level and made it a top priority.
Artwork for us started when we was kids. I think they recognised that we liked art from when we were younger. We come from an artistic family. My uncle used to draw murals on his wall. My aunt, she does, she's always drawn, and she's always had her artwork around in her house and stuff. So we've always had influences, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. Books on in the background, and we would just get out our pads and pencils, and we'd just be drawing, non-stop. Both of us took art. We had the same art teacher. She loved our work and everything like that. And I think we both kind of drifted from it when we had to start picking other subjects, going off to college and then university and everything like that. But I think when we got back to, when we started working in the schools, and we were both in the art departments of 2 separate schools, that's when it started to come back out. And I think Zalika started it first. She would just have the time to sit down and do these big paintings, and I just sat there I want to do it.
Oh, why don't you?
And I started because I never had the time, because I'm a mum and I have 2 kids. It was really difficult especially when they were young, to sit down for 5 minutes by myself and do anything. But she was just draw what you see, and I was like, oh, okay. So I started drawing and really looking and focusing, and that's how it kind of got me into it. And we've just shared different tips. You went on that art course.
Yeah, I did a life drawing course, and it just opened my eyes, because I've always drawn, like she said, with a rubber. But they said because you spent so much time drawing, to translate that into paint should be a breeze, and it kind of was. Anything I learned, I said, well, do you know what? I had in mind to teach her as well, so that she could develop. So it's like we see one thing, but we make it work for both of us. And
when we lived together, it was like, I don't know, how we came to live with each other, you know, how we moved out wasn't under the best circumstances, basically. But it caused a lot of tension between the two of us. We kept blaming each other for the circumstances of how everything happened. And it was just like that too. We managed to live together for 2 years, but...
Three.
Was it?
3.
Yeah, okay, 3 years. But then it just got to that place where it's like enough is enough, and we needed that space and that break from each other. So I think when we parted company,
I don't think it was us per se. It was the situation, and it was a lot of external factors that just interrupted the relationship. It stopped being a sister relationship. It was just and I don't think if those other external factors weren't there,
it probably wouldn't.
It wouldn't have been that rift as it was.
Yeah. But I must say, it has been a fight to get back to that place where we work as one, because we've had to
life has happened.
Exactly, and squash. I think an ego. Yeah, definitely an ego thing. You know, tried to put aside. You know, okay, think how is it that how does the other person feel, and try and work backwards and take a deep breath and not bring it in a way to get other people's back up and continue the fighting, really. I think for me, motherhood right now, or should I say, where I feel a bit envious of Zalika sometimes is her freedom. You know, motherhood has put lots of restrictions on just get up and go out the house and, you know, go out maybe to her party or anything. You know, anything I got to do, I got to plan it in, I don't know, 3 days or hours, you know, just to get up and go to the shop because you need a bottle of milk. Takes me.
I always thought I'd be a mum by now. So for me, the envy would be the fact that you have got the kids and you know that. So I love being an auntie, but yeah, I'd love to have, you know, children of my own. So that would be the only thing that.
Yeah. So in terms of competitiveness, yeah, like I said, I am I'm always right, and I always have to be the winner. And there are lots of people in my family that try to say that I am, what's the word, a sore loser. And I'm like, no, I just have to win, that's all. The time when I felt betrayed by my sister was when we were living together. The way in which we parted company, you know, was quite hard. It was a thing where she left me at that point, and I just felt like, wow, we've been in it together since, you know, day dot, and it was a friendship that kind of got in between that, and in that leaving I felt like, wow, you actually took it there, you know. So yeah, for me anyway.
Thank you. It's called strategy.
Distraction. I can't see.
We missed each other, and I think because we never talked about it in length or anything like that, we kind of, it's easy just to blame the other person, and we missed each other, and that's how we show it. We just insults. And yeah,
the pain that we shared growing up was definitely our family drama. Yeah. When our parents split up, you know, they split up twice, or should I say they got back together and then they split up again. That took its toll on our family. We sacrificed our own kind of like childhood in a sense to be able to be there for our younger brothers and sisters and make sure that they didn't suffer the same thing that we did. One of the reasons why we had so much tension when we were living together is because we were always sort of like...
we weren't arguing about normal sister problems. It was more arguing about who was
right.
Who was where? Yeah.
We took up for each parent, like, you know, I was my dad, she was my mom, and it was just like we were fighting camp parents, not each other.
We just had, because we are still different people, we have different opinions, and even as children we just saw things differently, so we would always pick up the different issues. So when we looked at it when we was older, we were never angry at each other, it was the situations and just because we saw things differently.
I don't think the pain has ever gone away. I just think it's a thing where we've been able to kind of...
We've grown.
Yeah, you find a different way of coping with it, or... Because, I don't know, I'd like to think that I've let it go, but the triggers are still there, you know. I can go back to that place so quickly. But
because we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm, that is definitely...
And I think as we've grown up, we've kind of seen the other person's point of view as well, so... It's less so the rivalry about who was right or who was wrong. It's more like actually part of what you were saying and part of what I was saying was wrong, right, and we've accepted that. So then we're able to have a different adult conversation.
When was the last time you told your sister you loved her? Not enough, actually.
I think I tell you more than you tell me.
Yeah, I got issues. I love you.
Like, can you mean it this time?
Yeah,
I'll show you how it's done. I love you. See? That's what happens.
Love you too.
Yes, one thing you have said or done to your sister you regret. I think for me it's the judgments. I think you've always felt that way you wanted to support people of... I am guilty. I have my opinions. I do regret not being there for you and just understanding and just taking my opinions out of it. So that's my one regret.
And I would have to agree, yeah. I think the judgments, yeah, as well. You know, again, lifestyle choices or, you know.
How would you define sisterhood and what does sisterhood mean to you?
I think you are lucky to have a sister, really and truly, or, you know, somebody that you can talk to and confide in and has your back, and, you know, that is your first kind of, you know, port of call, and it needs to be someone that is trustworthy, you know, even if you have the little snipings, which are inevitable in essence, because you... yeah, people's personalities change, they clash, they grow, there's so many different factors, but at the end of the day you can always put whatever drama or whatever's going on to one side and come back to this person, you know, and there's not going to be that permanent damage done.
And it's like something you shouldn't ever take for granted, and I think too many people do take that family bond for granted. No one's going to love you as much as your sister and be there for you and, you know, take your crap.
For me, I would definitely say one of the times that she's been there for me, you know, there was a time where, especially in the early stages or the early years of my kids when they were younger, and it was getting to a place where I just couldn't do it anymore. We had this deal where every Thursday she would pick them up from nursery and she would keep them overnight so that I could come and pick them up in the morning and take them to nursery, and then I'll go to work. And that just gave me the exact amount of relief that I needed to, you know, progress on to the next level and just get my sanity back. I'd say her ability to step up and take charge, like, you know, has been amazing, in especially like in the last couple of, you know, years, really grown into her own. You know, it's just like, I'll get it done and don't need to stress, because one of the things that I do is I personally like to be in control. And when I can't achieve these goals that I set out, it makes me go into full meltdown mode, because, you know, we must get it done and it must be done perfectly all right. And I've always felt like I needed to have that control, because it's a thing where I couldn't get it anywhere else. But now Zalika has properly stepped up and is doing those, like, she's able to take control, and I can relax. You know, when we have our family functions and things like that, she's just like, you sort out the children and I'll get everything else done. And I'm like,
with you, I love the fact that your heart is so big and you're always willing to give. There's nothing too big that a task, if someone needs her, or I need her, or the many of our siblings that need her, she's there and she's very open. She's helped our cousin, our sister, just they need somewhere to stay, come here. And there's no qualms, there's no issues, it's just, I'm there for you. I love that. You know, I'm proud to have her as my sister, in that sense. Well, we came up with the name Amina John, didn't we?
yeah.
And that's like our company. So, aminajohn.com to get our information, our numbers, our email addresses. It's a way to email your pictures if you want them to be blown up, or if you want to just have a talk about and a consultation, you know, just call us up. Our numbers are all available. We've got on Instagram. Is it just Amina John?
Yes, Cynthia.
Yeah, Amina John Simply Art. On Instagram. Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.